boys and girls. Today I'm going to read chapter 16 of Lulu's Mysterious Mission. By the end of Monday, Lulu had learned to disguise herself as anyone and anything. She had also learned to notice all the little mistakes and carelessness that would tip her off when someone else was disguised. On Tuesday, Lulu's class would be taking a field trip to the museum, encountering many people during the day. Lulu's spy assignment was to figure out which of these people were actually an in disguise Miss Solinsky. Early on Tuesday morning, an eager Lulu was up and dressed, confident that she would ace her assignment. But after she had startled the substitute teacher and the driver of the bus by whispering, "Gotcha, I know who you are," when she didn't, she realized that she wasn't that great at penetrate. Concentrating harder and using the spy craft that had been taught, Lulu got better as the day went on. Catching Mrs. Solinsky disguised as a tour guide at the museum and a cashier at the cafeteria. Her greatest moment of triumph, however, came at the very end of the afternoon when she shrewdly figured out that the dog that was sitting in front of her house when she got home from school, a mutt that had peed profusely on her sneakers, was actually none other than Miss Solinsky. "I am impressed," Miss Solinsky told Lulu, "but don't get carried away with yourself. We'll see tomorrow how well you do when I'm teaching you H and C, hacking and codes." I'm going to go ahead and read chapter 17 because that one was kind of short. Hacking, Mrs. Solinsky explained, was sneaking into other people's computers sending out messages, like Lulu asking Mabel to bring over cats, or bad guys plotting how to destroy the world, and that you definitely weren't ever supposed to read. Codes were ways of writing your top secret messages so secretly that even when hackers read what you had written, they couldn't understand a single word. Working with Lulu on Wednesday, Mrs. Solinsky first taught her several nifty codes and then moved on to the tricks of hacking computers, solemnly explaining to her, hacking is wrong and not nice and against the law, but you need to learn how to do it to be a good spy. "And I do want to be a good spy, I do," said Lulu, and then she dug in and learned how to hack faster than she had learned anything else in her life. "You've got a natural talent," Miss Solinsky said to Lulu, "but don't use it except when you're an official spy, because if you're hacking to find out if Henry likes you better than he likes Nora Kaplan, you probably won't appreciate the answer." "I have no idea what you're talking about," Lulu told Miss Solinsky, who patted her on her shoulder and replied, "but you're so much better at hacking than lying." And chapter 18 is also short, so we're going to keep going. Chapter 18. GFEDCBA, Triple S has gotta stay. June or April, March or May, Triple S has gotta stay. Oink or quack or moo or nay, Triple S has gotta stay. Austin, Boston, Santa Fe, Triple S has gotta stay. Lulu was chanting her friendly new chant as she fell asleep that night, wondering what Miss Solinsky would teach her next. After repair and restore, disguise and penetrate, hacking and code, she could hardly wait for the lesson that Thursday would bring. And chapter 19, that one was just one page. Back from school on Thursday, Lulu was met at the door by Sonia Sophia Solinsky, who said to her, "We must hurry. Your parents return tomorrow night, which means we haven't much time for me to give you your final lesson in basic spycraft." She explains that this final lesson involves several clues that she had hidden all over the house, with each clue leading onward to the next. If Lulu succeeded in following them, which wouldn't be easy to do, she would find at the end what the clues had been leading her to. "Which is what?" Lulu asked. "Tell me and I'll get started. I'll get started right now and I'll be finished before bedtime." "I wouldn't count on being done before bedtime," said Miss Solinsky, "and you aren't permitted to know in advance what you'll find. In fact, this particular lesson, which ends each set of my spycraft lessons, is known as Here It Comes, folks, here it comes. Which stands for yes, mysterious mission. And that, I sincerely hope, takes care of that." Remember the title? Mysterious Mission. Lulu totally loved it, and she knew without a doubt that she would succeed. Indeed, by now she was positive that she was the best spy in training that Sonia Sophia Solinsky, codenamed Triple S, had ever trained. "Aren't I the best spy in training that you've ever trained?" Lulu asked Miss Solinsky. "Let's not get pushy," Miss Solinsky replied. Then she sat Lulu down in the kitchen, fed her an early supper, and handed her, printed neatly on a note card, the next clue to where she should look for the next clue. They have their ups, they have their downs. You do not like to use them. This is the 7th one you've owned. Because you always lose them, look inside. That's where I decided to hide it. Lulu narrowed her eyes as she read and reread and then reread the clue. She read it to herself, she read it out loud, after which she turned to Miss Zielinski and asked in a quite snippy tone of voice, "What kind of dopey, dumb, stupid clue is that?" Good grief. Had Lulu forgotten total obedience? "Excuse me," said Miss Zielinski. "What did you say?" Lulu, pulling herself together in the nick of time, replied, "Oh, I only just was saying that this clue is kind of confusing and I was wondering if you could give me a little bit of help." "Careful attention to each of the words," Miss Zielinski replied. "Ought to give you all the help you need. And now I'm going to go up to your room and I don't wish to be disturbed. You're on your own." At the top of the stairs, however, Miss Zielinski stopped for a minute. "Inside it. Decided. Hide it," she said. "As you can see, my little spy in training, you're not the only one who knows how to rhyme. You clever folks reading this story have doubtlessly already figured out what this clue is referring to, but it took Lulu quite a while to think of what goes up and down, how she complains whenever her mom makes her use one, and that she'd already lost a green one, a blue one, a plaid one, 2 flowered ones, and a frog one, making the yellow polka dot one that hung in the front hall closet her 7th umbrella. Lulu rushed to the closet, reaching inside the hanging umbrella, and found her next clue. And there's Jake. In something that rhymes with fox is something that rhymes with eyes. And taped to that second something is a clue. You'll discover it all by yourself on something that rhymes with elf, and there's even something for breakfast tomorrow, too. 2 hours later, and getting close to her bedtime, Lulu came up at last with box and prize and shelf and breakfast cereal. Rummaging through the cereal boxes that stood on the shelf in the kitchen, she eventually pulled out the toasted, yummy extra sugar bits, a purple plastic superhero, the prize on the back, which was scotch tape, her next clue. Inside of a shoe, near the toe, awaits what you need next to know. This new clue, so short and simple, made Lulu wonder if Miss Zielinski had run out of rhymes, unless she'd gone soft and was giving Lulu a break. But 3 hours later, and way past her bedtime, Lulu had found no clue in the toe of her shoe. Though she'd gone through every shoe in her closet, as well as every shoe of her mom's and her dad's, and even checked out Miss Zielinski's combat boots. Disgusted, discouraged, and exhausted, she laid down on her bed to rest for a few minutes and discovered, when she slipped off her sneakers, guess what? That's right, she found a note card neatly tucked into her left sneaker near her big toe. And what we'd all like to know, and that includes me, is how and also when did that clue get in there? And that's the end of chapter 19. So on Friday, look out for chapter 20 and maybe beyond if it is short. Have a good day. Bye, guys.